Welcome back to Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today's guest is Alex Dabagh of Made by Alex and ANYBAG. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
It was great to meet you last week. I met you for the first time. But we have a bromance brewing already.
We've been going way back.
Yeah, I feel like you're my cousin though. We have like similar roots.
It's true.
I walked in and I was like,
there's something I knew about this guy way before I met him.
I saw you. I've been following you before you discovered Outsiders through Jordan.
Yeah.
And it was funny when she reached out, said you wanted to be in touch with us. I was like, I want to be in touch with him. Like, I love what you're doing. I think not only, the environmental element is huge. It's something I'm really drawn to, but also it's cool, right? You see a lot of like these environmentally safe brands that look like shit.
It's corny.
And we talk about, like, for example, Liquid Death, right? Great marketing. Yeah. They're really doing a great job with not using plastics. Yeah. They got great water. Like, I like their mission, but they're known mostly for their marketing, their aesthetics, and all that.
Like, that's what sucked me into it the first time. So I was like, this shit is wild.
Exactly.
Like, murder your thirst. Who says that?
Same with you. I mean, you're not doing outlandish marketing like they are. It works for them. But what you're doing is like recreating New York staples, right?
Iconics.
If we're looking at the "Thank You, Have a Nice Day" bag, that's something you get on every bodega or any store in Chinatown, whatever it is. So, but recreating it from those bags, and then now they have a nice bag they can use pretty much forever. Because
it's a forever bag. That's what we call it. I mean, there's a lifetime guarantee behind it.
That's crazy. I mean, those bags, it'll be thousands of years before they have to.
Pretty much. It's going to outlive every one of us.
Yeah.
But it's like we're taking the iconic New York signature plastic bags that we've seen around all our lives and giving them a better purpose, like regenerating them. Yeah. But now it's like, all right, we could reintroduce them as repurposed, upcycled, and then slap the screen print on it. And it's like, oh, shit. We got this brand new bag made out of all these old bags from the trash, from the waste. And it gives it a whole new life, a whole new meaning.
That's amazing. Bams, is he talking close enough to the mic? I'm surprised this is your...
Yeah, no problem.
I'm surprised this is your first podcast. I would assume you've done like the whole podcast like tour by now.
No, I do a lot of talking. I do a lot of like school pop-ups, if you want to call it that. We do show and tells in the factory. We're heavily involved with the community. So we got a lot of people into the factory. We go out. We do... workshops and talks at all the about a dozen elementary schools, talk to all the kids, teach them about sustainability, upcycling, thinking outside the box, and just, showing them that, anything is possible. You just got to reinvent the wheel. But just because one thing is meant for one single purpose doesn't mean it needs to end there. And that's kind of like what our big, the mission is behind this. It's like, think other alternatives, think of other uses and, manipulate it.
Obviously you don't have to tell me why you decided to do a project like this as far as the sustainability part, but how did you become so well-versed and knowledgeable about upcycling and
honestly, the more I did it, the more I learned. Every day I learned something new. Like upcycling, sustainability, to me, I never learned anything about this. Like growing up, it was the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. And then it's like now that we dive deeper into it, we're realizing a lot of that's bullshit, and there's so much more to it. But, just growing up in the factory all my life, growing up in an immigrant family, one thing my dad always taught me was, you eat the whole chicken, nothing goes to waste. Yeah. So that was, one of the philosophies that always went into the factory. Like, you save every scrap. Coming from a leather goods background, manufacturing, I grew up around it all my life, 40 years. Mm-hmm. And every scrap of leather we used to put it into a bin, color-coded, articles, all that. And we saved every piece. Never thinking anything about sustainability or it's just for us, that was money. Right. Why throw it out? Yeah. And then fast forward to a few years ago and I was like, wait, we've been doing this forever. And now everyone's talking about being sustainable. Right. Like, wait, we're the pioneers of this. Hold up, time out.
Honestly, I think every culture was that way prior to single serving things, right? That's it. So we just got to go back to the roots of, like you said, whether it be eating every part of the animal. We've gotten into this habit of everything being really convenient and discarding and not treating the planet well.
Yeah, I mean, just because we throw something, or once we're done using something and we throw it out, it doesn't just disappear.
But the way the systems are in place as far as trash goes, it makes it seem like that's what happens.
And that's a misconception. Right. It goes to live somewhere else. Yeah. Sometimes it lives in a landfill. Sometimes it lives on a barge somewhere. Sometimes it goes to another country, or it ends up in our waterways or pollutes the environment that we're living in. So what we're doing is we're just creating a system that prevents that.
Right.
And, diverts the waste, diverts the trash from ever reaching a landfill or reaching a waterway or, contaminating anything. But it's all a matter of putting systems in place. And with systems, it's a win-win for everybody.
When did you start? Like, what made you start this? What was the moment you were like, I want to make bags from old bags?
So I'd say weaving textile became one of my passions, I'd say about 10 years ago when we bought a loom into the factory. Started weaving all the leather scraps, and then we made a carpet out of all these random scraps one day. And then,
very Middle Eastern of you.
Yeah, just old school,
Shout out to our
rag rug. Just old school rag rug, what's up, Lebanon? But it wasn't anything. It was just like, wait, if we could do this with leather scraps or leather remnants, I was like, why can't we do this with plastic? And I just started experimenting and fusing plastic together, taping it together, and then weaving it. And after about 6 months of trial and error, we created the first ANYBAG.
And why did you decide to make a bag as opposed to any other product?
That was in my wheelhouse, making bags, making accessories, and it came natural to me.
Gotcha.
And it's funny, when we started, it was like, oh, let's make this cool bag. 6 months down the road, it was like, oh shit, we're not a bag, we're a textile.
Right.
And now 3 years into it, we're realizing that ANYBAG is more than a bag, more than a textile. We're a modern day upcycling system, purveyors of trash, if you want to call it that.
Right.
Like where
NYC's finest trash.
Yeah, NYC. It's made in Manhattan by New Yorkers using New York City's finest trash.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like to say. But we're reinventing the wheel in the way that people recycle, upcycle, and making it traceable, visible, and making it real. There's no greenwashing, what is it? Greenwashing or where you take your recycling out and you think it's getting recycled. But this is the real deal.
It's like the people who are doing 1% for the planet, and that's their, we're a green company. I'm like, 1%.
Everybody talks about zero waste and all that. It's impossible.
But the other thing I find great about what you're doing is that you're doing something that's easily attainable to help something, right? So a lot of the green initiatives sometimes aren't very convenient, and in order to create habits, it has to be convenient enough to become a habit.
And that's what it is. I mean, what we're doing is we're putting it out there that we can't live this perfect lifestyle. We can't live this sustainable lifestyle because, this day and age, living in New York City, it's consumerism at its finest.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they're handing you the single-use servings of plastic and packets of ketchup or mustard or whatever it is. So it's not up to us. We could do a little bit better, but it's up to the makers and the creators and where that stuff is coming from to really lay the initiative out,
right,
and lay it down. And if they're making it, someone's going to consume it.
Yeah.
And if we don't use it, the guy next to me is going to use it.
And if it's super easy to consume,
exactly,
that's the one they're going to go to.
We're not going to get out of this bubble or this cycle unless we go to the source.
Yeah.
So it's for me, I say it's up to us or up to companies like me that are doing stuff like what we're doing with ANYBAG, where it's we're starting this is going to go to the waste. Let's take it, recreate it, regenerate it.
But you're the second stage, right? Because the root of the issue is obviously the plastic bag maker, right? So you're the second stage transitioning that plastic bag, that waste into something reusable. Yeah. But the real source of the issue is still not being addressed. Well, it's starting to with no single-use plastics being allowed, but there still something has to be done about the existing ones.
Yeah,
and that's
the thing. It's with the ban in New York City, greatest thing to ever happen.
Yeah.
But the way they rolled it out was all right, you can't use plastic after this date. Now what happens with all your stock, your inventory? Yeah. Everyone's turning around and tossing it. It's it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So what we started doing that day was reaching out to all the bodegas, the stores, Dwayne Reed's, Home Depot, Staples, I remember. Hey, what are you guys doing with your plastic? We don't know. There's no plan yet.
Yeah.
And everybody started tossing it, and then we started getting calls from demo companies and other stores that heard about what we were doing, and they're like, we're throwing this out.
Yeah.
Do you want to take? I was like, hell yeah, we'll take it. We'll collect it. We'll come pick it up if we have to.
Yeah.
But it was it's great what they did, but it should have been executed a little better. This is the cutoff date when you can order plastic, and then you got to run out of your stock and then think of a different idea.
But running out of their stock still contributes to the problem. So it's not a bad idea. The way they did it was okay, but now it's your job to fix the problem.
Now it's we're coming in hey, hold on. Don't toss that. Let's divert it. Let's safeguard it.
Yeah.
and let it live on. Give it a better purpose. Give it a better meaning in life.
I mean, let's also hope that the people buying these bags aren't tossing the bags.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're sturdy bags, everyone's always gonna need like a tote bag or something like that.
No,
so
dude, that's some high quality stuff right there. That thing probably could take a beating.
I mean, I used the first ANYBAG for almost 2.5 years. It held up just fine, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
That shit is sturdy. Like I picked up, dude. That it's got some weight to it. It seems like it's really sturdy.
What's the thread count is like the bag count now, right?
It's about 95 single-use plastic bags.
95, wow.
Single classic ANYBAG.
I'm assuming that the cloth holding it together would wear out before.
And that's what happened. Like with the bag that I wore, the threads on the top where it rubs on my clothing.
Yeah.
What started falling apart, but the bag stayed intact.
So you offer a lifetime guarantee.
If the bag rips, tears, or breaks, you send it back to us. We'll patch it up, do whatever we need to keep the bag circulating. Plastic lives, I think, 500 to 1,000 years. Why not keep it in use for as long as we could?
Yeah.
And now we're trying to figure out different ways to make it completely circular. Maybe it's different cords or threads that we use in the bag. This way, if it ever does end up in a recycling facility, it could be recycled 100%.
Right.
So
Can you use existing plastics for the portion that's cloth? Would it be?
It's difficult. There's, again, like what we're creating, there's no machinery out there. So like we're developing as we go. We're building an automated loom right now that should be ready hopefully by September, October, November, hopefully September if everything goes all right.
Yeah.
But it's going to increase capacity by tenfold, but it's going to speed up the process.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is we haven't even touched on that part of it, but it's going to create 23 jobs for areas that are underserved and people that are underserved, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, we spoke about this, and you really got to go after those city grants for job creation, for being considered a minority, wherever you can get it, who cares? Get that money, because what you're doing is going to be beneficial for so many more people other than the planet.
I mean, in the last 18 months, we collected close to 14,000 pounds of plastic out of our little factory on 29th and 6th Avenue.
That's
a
crazy.
6,000 square foot factory. So imagine what we could do if we had the space, the facility, and the backing of the city, or the backing of the state, Department of Sanitation. And it's like, you guys can't recycle this soft plastic.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what to do with it. It clogs the machines, breaks the machines.
I also think it's exponential growth you're going to see because like you get a bigger space, you get more machines, more production, which means then you can hit up the bigger retailers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talks right now with a lot of the bigger retailers trying to figure out what to do with their waste, because everyone's going like plastic free in the next 2 years, 3 years. Some have a 5-year plan.
I mean, the smaller business, like the Perfect Picnic, I'm not sure how that followed up. But
we have a call with them next week. Yeah,
that's like, there's so many needs for bags, right? Yeah. But a lot of the bags we get, like
it's that canvas tote, gift with purchase that no one really needs anymore.
Exactly.
It just sits in your closet. It's like, why make another one of those when we could just use our existing waste?
Right.
And create
the cool thing is some of those totes are cool, right?
Yeah.
But this is cool too. Like I love the fact, again,
you can take your name, brand it on it, do whatever you want. Do you color code it?
Which we're going to do for outsiders. Yeah.
Outsiders coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. But it was great. I think that you nailed it with what you put on that bag as far as graphics go too.
I mean, we have a new one coming out with the I Love New York. Everybody was up in arms regarding the We Love New York change, and I was like, why broke?
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I was like,
well,
why
what you
fix
mean?
something that was broken?
They were trying to change the I Love New York
They
to
did
We
change it.
Love New York.
They did.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, they
Why?
did.
What's the point?
We Love New York.
Exactly. What's the point?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, who is I offending?
I don't know.
They just wanted to be inclusive of. I don't know. It's I Love New York has been I Love New York forever. It's iconic.
Yeah, but I don't even see that being offensive.
It's not.
If it was, I get it, but like.
But they just wanted to change it.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
still trying to figure out.
It was everybody loves New York, so they wanted to include everybody into the slogan.
That's what it was, like bringing all parts of the world, the city, the state. I was
but I mean, the thing is that when you say I love New York, you're the one wearing it. So I love New York.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if you love New York, but I do.
I know. I'm born and raised here. Like
Exactly.
I love New York.
Yeah,
I haven't left.
Exactly. I don't know. That's strange. That's actually odd. It's like these little things that.
No, it makes you scratch your head.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you
understand.
do that? It's like changing the color of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Like, it's green today. Like, it's tomorrow. Let's paint it pink. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Why would you do
exactly?
That's the color of the Statue of Liberty.
Whatever. I'm sure there's good reason. I don't know it, but I'm sure there is.
We'll find out hopefully one day.
So you grew up in New York. Where are you from originally?
Well, I can see he's a Mets fan.
Yeah, born and raised Mets fan. But I was born and raised
Brooklyn folks are from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, from Bay Ridge, from Brooklyn.
So Brooklyn heads are actually Mets fans and not Yankee fans, or is there a mix? I know Queens is Mets, Bronx is
Mets.
Yankees.
Just the first game I ever went to was against the Pirates, I think, in like 1987.
Oh, the year after the
88. My uncle took me, and then like that was it from that day on.
It's funny growing up. For me, I'm not a baseball fan anymore, but growing up, I watched baseball, and I was told to be a Mets fan, so I was a Mets fan. I remember watching the '86 series like on TV. And loving like Darryl Strawberry, Lenny Dykstra, Mookie Wilson,
the bad boys, the bad boys of Queens. That was great.
Exactly. I missed that. But then
it's all to me. Like I always say, like if the New York Mets ever win a World Series, and hopefully they do in my lifetime.
So you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah, the city I think will just shut down. Like it's like the Knicks and the Mets. If they ever win, the city will.
The
shut
Mets
down.
have a much better chance. The Knicks, as long as James Dolan's there,
I
don't
mean, hopefully
know.
one day he's gone too.
Yeah.
I got my qualms about him.
Yeah, I think everyone does. I think the culture he creates around MSG, whatever. We don't know who's going to watch this. So
like, the last championship that we won that I really enjoyed was like the '94 Rangers. Like I remember that like vividly.
Yeah.
Like the Giants, it was great, but like I'm not into football as much as I am as baseball and basketball.
Yeah, I'm a big basketball fan, but I don't have a specific team. Like I can't stand the Knicks for that reason.
No, it's a love-hate
relationship. So Bay Ridge?
Yeah, Bay Ridge.
What's it like for a dude who's Lebanese and Syrian?
Yeah, Lebanese and Syrian. It was good. I mean, it was a melting pot. I had a lot of Greek friends growing up, Italian friends, Irish friends, and then I went to high school in the city at Xavier.
You went to Xavier?
Yeah, on 16th and 6th Avenue.
How old are you?
I will be 41 May 4th.
Do you know, what's his name? Terrence Tuberty?
Yeah, the Tubertys. Yeah.
Terrence, we had him on the show.
Yeah, we ran. He was on the track team, rugby team.
Terrence was on the track team.
I was gonna say I don't.
One of the brothers, he might have did shot put at one point. Or something.
Really, I think Terrence, if you're on the track team, I don't know about this.
No offense, I know I'm a fat bastard myself.
Connection, Breezy Point.
How about Darren Laszlo?
I don't know.
He was from Xavier, but yeah, the Rockaway connection.
Yeah, like that. I have my whole squad is out.
Why don't
there.
you get your bags at the Rockaway Hotel? He owns it.
My wife just told me the other day. She's like, you should do the next pop up out there when I do mine with the jewelry. I was like, all right, I'll think about it.
I mean, you know him.
Yeah, they do an event every year. I think right before Christmas, and they do one in the summer.
Okay, we do events with them too. We do the Rockaway. In the winter, we do like hot sauna, cold plunge in the pool.
Okay, cool.
And we do a Rockaway ride, which is our flagship event, and we always finish up there.
No, it's a beautiful place they built.
Yeah, and Terrence has actually been very outspoken about how important he thinks Outsiders is. He's been super supportive. Before I even realized it, there's a few people who were like, no, we need to focus on this. He was one of them.
That's awesome. He's a good guy.
He's a good dude, yeah.
It's a Xavier connection, man.
Yeah, that's City High School.
That Jesuit education.
I went to 1 year of Jesuit school in high school, and I hated it.
I continued. I went to Fordham afterwards in the Bronx.
Oh, yeah? What did you study?
Business management and like international communications.
Was it because you knew you were going to take over your family business?
No, I thought I was going to go back to school for architecture and real estate development. And then I did a year of grad school at Stevens and pulled a U-turn.
In Hoboken?
Semester. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I pulled a U-turn second semester and said, what the hell am I doing? I want to take over the business.
But what were you studying there?
Construction management. So I was going to do that degree and then go get an architecture degree afterwards.
So how many years of school did you do?
I only did a year after.
After you did undergrad.
I realized, I was like, what the hell am I doing? And then I walked into the factory and my dad was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I don't want you here. I was like, why? He was like, I sent you to school. You got an education, not to work like like in Arabic he says like a hamad, which means a donkey.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Dad, like what you built.
Why do all the Middle Eastern cultures have donkey sayings? And Farsi is chai. Everything's like
don't be a donkey. Yeah.
My dad was telling me when he got remarried to his current wife, he invited my grandparents from Iran. And my grandfather responds with, even the donkey's smart enough not to step in the same pothole twice. So you know the saying, okay?
I mean, listen, that's a pretty good saying.
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying, like, every saying,
Yeah, man, like, all the times you said, I want to bring a partner in, and, like, it never worked out. I was like, I'm your best partner. I'm your son.
Yeah.
I was like, if anybody's going to do this, it's going to be me. You know?
So did it bring you guys closer?
Yeah, and now like we're best friends.
Yeah.
You know, now he just retired about 2 years ago. I'd say the COVID was like a blessing in disguise. Made him like look, you know, take a step back and really appreciate everything. And he hangs out with my kids now every day. He watches them. He's like, he's a babysitter. He does everything he couldn't do with me growing up because he was a workaholic with my kids.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like I love seeing it happen every day. Like he's a kid again.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So he's like the babysitter, I guess.
Yeah, he builds Legos all day. He takes them for pizza, ice cream.
Yeah.
Last week they had a lemonade stand out front of their house.
Oh, he's living life.
And now he's like, when's the next lemonade stand? I'm like, I don't know. You coordinate with the kids.
I'm working.
I was like, I don't know. But no, it's great, man. I love seeing it.
So so during high school, what did you want to be an architect the whole time?
I knew I wanted to do architecture or do something with design. I was very good with my hands, like sculpting and painting, drawing, all that. Like all my life.
I was ask you because I mean, again, I'm going to refer to the bag and what you selected on there.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of the best ideas are always the simplest, right?
Yep.
A lot of people trying to make this lavish, extravagant stuff, thinking that's going to be better.
Yeah,
but it takes a creative mind to see, you know, the value in
simplicity.
the basics, right? Simplicity.
I mean, who's that said it? I think it was Bill Gates. But it was like simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. Mm-hmm. And like I firmly believe in that. It's like you said, it's like why does everybody always try to overcomplicate shit? Yeah. And the more you overcomplicate shit, the more of a shitstorm you cause. And everybody like puts their hand in the pot and they're 5 cents and 10 cents. It's like, guys, like we're never gonna finish this.
But it also takes experience to learn that.
Yeah, I mean that's why the Cross Bronx Expressway will never be completed. It's like there's too many people trying to figure how to fix this thing.
You're talking to this man who works for the Port Authority, by the way.
Yeah, well, I used to work for New York State DOT, so yeah, I know they've been working on the Cross Bronx for like the last 30-something
it's like
years.
They'll never finish that.
It's the Cross Bronx and the freaking Van Wyck
and Belt Parkway for me.
Yeah,
they'll forever be under construction, but
That's
it's like
funny.
just simplify it and things will work out, and that's what we're doing with this. It's a basic form of weaving that's been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I saw the machine. I was like,
Industrial Revolution that was going on in the UK.
Wait, so you're weaving these plastic bags? You're leaving this stuff on an actual
on a loom? I could bring the loom, drop it on this table, and weave plastic all day long. No electricity, nothing.
Oh shit!
I could take
That's
it, drop it in
crazy.
the middle of the freeway, and weave plastic all day long. And
and the loom is actually, it looks beautiful, man. Yeah. It's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all instinctually in us because the loom has been around for thousands of years. But I look at it, I'm like, I want a loom in my house, not to do weaving,
antique,
but just to have it there.
It's
it looks
a beautiful
beautiful
piece, man. And it's the same piece of machinery that's made all our clothing for the last hundreds of years.
Yeah,
it's just we've evolved, we've changed. Like maybe tweaked it here and there, but it's the same process.
Yeah.
You make the channel, pass the cotton through, or the fabric through. In my case, it's the plastic. Yeah. And you create a textile out of it. But it's like you said, it's simple. Yeah. And like everyone's like, "This is it." I'm like, "Yeah, this is it." They're like, "Oh, how'd you come up with this idea?" I'm like, I had this vision because I grew up around all this machinery, and without this machinery, I probably would not have been able to come up with this idea. But I saw an opportunity. I was like, "Wait, if we could do all this, let's incorporate plastic and see if it works." And here we are today, like 14,000 pounds, collected.
That's amazing, and millions more to go.
Yeah, I mean we're just getting started. We were in the New York Times twice in the last 6 months.
That's insane.
Like to me, it's like holy shit.
I want to be in the New York Times.
You got to manifest it. I've been saying it for 3 years, and we finally got it.
I'm gonna manifest it. Do like the millennials and manifest
wild, dude. It really is crazy.
When you were working before ANYBAG came about, when you were working at the leather goods factory. What was other than growing the business, what was your passion behind it? Are you trying to create your own brand, bring back your father's brand, which I know you're actually going to be doing?
It was probably, I'd say, a combination of both. Keeping the family brand like Pietro NYC alive, but also in my heart, I wanted to just make cool shit. Like I used to always make one-offs for all my friends, and people were like, "Oh, I need a duffel bag. Could you make one?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I can make a sample. I could make a one-off for you, custom made bag, bespoke bag." And then after a few years of just doing that, I created Made by Alex, and it was about using all the leftovers and making woven leathers out of all the tech, like the scraps and the remnants. And that's kind of what paved the way for me entering into ANYBAG. Yeah, just using the waste, using the remnants, and making something from nothing. And I just wanted to make cool shit.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
that's really all it came down to.
I think all of us here, Band's made this. He likes woodwork.
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah, like
He likes video,
furniture is
photo.
my passion
Oh yeah,
too.
this is all like pallets
I love
that
it.
I found outside. That all this stuff on the thing.
He made the
there.
whole
Yeah.
background.
I mean, it's how satisfying is it?
No,
Like,
yeah, it's great, and it's literally like I built that originally for what I was doing, and then Jeremy came to me with the idea for doing the Outsiders podcast, and it's literally like this is what it came. This is
It's
what
awesome.
It's what it's you know.
But it's crazy what you could do with
But
all
on
the
top
shit
of that,
that's
like,
laying around.
every time I come in here, there's an upgrade, which I love, and I see him enjoy it. And sometimes I feel bad, and I look at him like, he likes this. Okay, it's okay.
No, dude, listen, it's stress. Sometimes it can be stressful as hell, but I do like doing it because this is like a problem, and you can figure it out. And I treat it like, all right, this is a game, and I always want to get the score.
Yeah.
I always want to be better than somebody else at what they're
And
doing.
like, it's funny you say that. It's like one of my biggest, I guess, obstacles is I'll make something, and then I'm like, oh wait, we can make it better.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm never gonna finish this because I keep adding,
But
adding
that's
layers
the bad
and layers and
quality.
layers.
I've learned not to complicate things with that. For me, my creative outlet, my art is experiences.
Yeah.
So I love creating something amazing and being like the destination trips.
That's a beautiful thing.
And looking back and watching how people enjoy it and see them love it, and I'm like,
It's a
okay, that's
beautiful thing.
my art.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cheesy.
No, but it's
I
true.
like- I like that.
My wife asked me, like, holidays come around, birthdays. She's like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? I'm like, an experience. I want to go snowboarding for a week.
Yeah.
I want to go to Montana, horseback ride. I want to be a cowboy for a week. Like,
Yeah.
that's the shit I want to do. And she's like, no, seriously. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. Like, I don't need anything else. I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Like, I have everything. I have my family. I have you. We have a house. We have a roof. I was like, I want to experience. I want to be able to tell the kids about something that we did that's wild and crazy, or this hike that we did, or this mountain that we climbed.
There's two things they say you can spend your money on to enrich yourself as a human being: education and experiences. Yeah. And I was talking to Jordan about this when she was in here. She's thinking about going back to school. I spent the most time with her when we went on the Zion trip. And what I found fascinating about her, and she loved that I said this, I'm surprised no one's ever told her this, but how knowledge hungry she is. So whenever we talked about something and she didn't quite know, she was like Googling it. And then we had like 13 or 14 plus hours in a vehicle, right? Over a course of a week. And talking to her, like anytime we talked about something, she's like looking it up and then talking about it and informing me. I learned so much shit because she was Googling it. So I think that's important to have, like that the thirst for knowledge. And then I think people who have that also have that thirst for experience.
I mean, you got like, there was another saying. It's like if you learn something new, you get to live the next day. Like you got to learn something every day in order to see the next day. But
yeah,
like,
I mean,
to me, it's like you got to always be learning. Like that's life.
Well, I think the story about people who retire and then like end up being lazy and do nothing and they die really soon after retirement. I think people need to always challenge themselves.
That's what it is.
And life is about the constant challenge, right? Doesn't mean you got to be struggling all the time, but you got to involve a little struggle, keep your mind sharp.
That's what it is.
So like, people talk about if you've never had to work again, I'd have to find a problem to solve. It doesn't have to be like saving the world. I mean, if I can, great, but like something that keeps me sharp.
That's what it is. Like my dad is 70. He'll be 71 in June. You look at him, you think he's like 50 years old. Like he's a young dude, but he's always on the move. He's doing something every day, cleaning out the garage. I'm like, Dad, sit down.
Wait, what's your dad's name? Because I'm is it my dad?
Like he doesn't stop, and I'm like, Dad, like you gotta chill, or he'll come to my house, start cleaning out the garage like
My
he did
dad's
this
the
weekend.
same way. My dad is so bad. He's got two speeds.
Yeah, it's
100 miles per hour or sleep.
That's
like,
it.
I go visit him and he's like doing this errand, doing this, clearing this out, all this stuff, and won't stop moving. And then we sit down to eat, and he falls asleep with food in his mouth. I'm not kidding.
Yo, listen, my father he just turned 87.
Wow.
And he literally he goes for like, dude, he walks from where we live on 9th Street. He'll walk all the way down to like 7th Street on Burger Line.
Yeah.
And then walk all the way back.
It keeps him sharp.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's his thing.
Like, I'm going to walk. Yeah. Okay. Call me if you need me,
But this funny because there's people out there who need to be told to go walk.
Yeah.
He's walking.
No, yeah. I got to go. I'm going to go for a walk.
I'll be back. I'll be back in 2
That's
hours.
just one of the most healthiest things you can do is walk, actually.
You gotta get out, man. Fresh air and just
outside,
mind,
active, and
get
social.
outside.
So you know what a blue zone is? There's 5 blue zones in the world. There's areas in the world where people live to be like centenarians, like over 100, but not necessarily over 100, but all on tons of medicine. They're actually healthy living into their hundreds. And there've been studies as to why in these parts of the world these people are living so long and healthy. So there's factors like diet, of course, their activity, and their social life. Like community really is something we need. We need to be moving. We need to be out, active. So, and obviously eat somewhat healthy. So Sardinia, where we're going, is a blue zone. And I have to be honest, when I was there, I felt super healthy from the food, the activity.
It's the climate, man. The climate, the
but
food.
it's not just the climate.
Fish, like,
But it's not just that. There's other places like there's one in Southern California. There's one in Okinawa, Japan. There's I think a Greek island. So yeah, I guess climates that are more conducive to fish as well. But yeah, it's insane like how important it is to be active. But the community aspect is one that's overlooked. You diet and all that, but be a loner and not be healthy.
You walk by somebody, say hello, like it's nice.
Yeah.
Like when someone acknowledges you, like good morning, good morning.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's more like where it's fish. It's more like they have climates where they can be active like all year long.
Well, active all year round, but there's other climates that are active all year round. You can be active all year round, but they don't have a sense of community. And they found studies that the community is what also a huge factor for them. Like, you know what I do when I see a homeless man? I may not have money to give him. I may not want to give him. I don't know whether to spend it on, but I always acknowledge them.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry, you can't. And what's funny is because you see people, like, they're invisible to a lot of people.
Yeah, they'll walk around, jump,
But when I say something, they light up. They're like, hey, man, have a great day. Yeah.
They're people too.
I agree. I think it just goes back to saying like the community aspect and being around people and getting acknowledgement or whatever.
I love like my favorite thing in the world is just be outside with other people, walking around, talking, small talk, long talk, whatever it is.
Well, you belong in Outsiders. What's
I'm
up?
a social butterfly.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, oh, why didn't you do that? I'm like, I can't sit in a cubicle and work by myself all day. Like I'll lose my mind.
I was thinking about it. Like I have friends of mine that work in finance that make a whole lot more money than I do. And I think to myself, like, I hear them talk to me sometimes and like super jealous about my lifestyle. And I'm fortunate enough to be doing, I think I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I found that with Outsiders. Like it feels great.
And that's the key to success right there.
100%. But also it's like the freedom I have for working for myself, but also doing with these fun outdoor things. And I know it has potential. I'm not making the kind of money I need to yet, but I know it'll get there.
I mean, it's the same thing with ANYBAG. Like everyone's like, oh, you make them. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. Like it's going to come. Yeah. Like I'm building the foundation right now.
But it's making you happy, and that's the most important part. I mean, as long as you have food on the table, of course, that's important.
I mean, like everything else, there's up and downs. It's a roller coaster. Right? There's some days it's like, shit, is it worth it? And then there's other days where you talk to people like you, and it's like, no, like, did you hear what he told me the other day? Like you think back and you're like, no, this is amazing. This is kick ass, and it's like, all right, that's what I needed. I need that light under my ass, like that fire.
Oh, for sure.
And it just makes you appreciate what you're doing a lot more than because you're your biggest demon. Like you're.
Oh, for sure.
The battles.
My toughest critic. My therapist once said like, if you had a friend that was saying all the things that your mind says to you, would you be friends with them?
Hell no.
I'm like, I would knock them out.
Knock him out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something to keep in mind for sure. What's your life like now? You're a family man. You're married.
Yeah, I'm married almost 10 years.
Really?
10 years, July 14th.
Where did you meet your wife?
It's funny. We actually knew each other growing up in Brooklyn through church. Family knew each other, but we never really talked. And then one day I saw her at a mutual friend's house around the corner from my parents' house, and I was just like, I'm going to marry this girl one day.
Really?
Yeah.
It just came to you like that?
I knew right away.
I haven't met anyone like that, man.
And it's crazy. Like I found out she was working at this beauty salon around the corner from my old apartment. And I went in every Friday for almost like 6 months straight and bought gel. And she used to be like, what the hell are you doing with this? I was like, I just like to try a different product and see which one I like. And she was like, all right.
You almost worked your way out of that marriage, my guy.
This guy's fucking crazy. This guy's nuts. But we became really good friends. Like this was back when like the Sunday brunch parties were popping and like Bagatelle and So like I'd be like, oh, come out with me. I'm like, we're gonna go out, and like she came a few times and she came to my 30th birthday, I remember. And
where was that at?
We did that at Bagatelle.
Okay.
And my dad was there, my sisters were there, my best friend was there, and she was about to leave early. And my friend goes up to her, and my friend Lisa at the time was like, you can't leave right now. Like, you're going to crush him. Like, this kid is in love with you. And I was like, they told me this like weeks after. She ended up staying. We ended up talking further. And I ended up inviting her to dinner one night a few weeks later. And we went out. It was to a nonprofit for something for the Kids Foundation in New York City. I forgot which one. She came to me on that and went to Morimoto for dinner after. And that was like our first date. And then...
Okay, fancy.
We didn't... no, like, I was nothing. She kissed me and that was it. And then we didn't talk.
She kissed you?
No, like we kissed that night and then we didn't kiss for like 6 weeks later. I was like,
what?
I need another friend. And she was like, no, I want you to be. I was like, nah, I don't need a friend. Like, I'm going to end this. And I ended it. She came back, ended it again because she was like, nah, I just want to be friends. I was like, all right, this is over. And then my mom's birthday on October 8th was like, that was the day we became boyfriend, girlfriend, and we've been together ever since.
Wow. That's
but I
funny.
knew from like day one, man, like that was the girl I was going to marry.
I'm curious about this.
It's persistence, and that's what. That's
but
what
I'm saying, like,
where I am.
no, obviously, but I'm
Now
saying, how did you know?
I don't know.
My twin brother said the same thing about Katie, his wife. He just knew.
I just knew right away. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just, I looked at her, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to marry this girl. And she had no idea. I knew. But I knew I was going to marry her. Here we are now, three kids into it. And I laugh at her all the time. Like, remember those times you pushed me away? Look, like, I got 3 kids now. With you.
Ha ha.
Joke's on you. Gotcha. But yeah, man, it's great. It's a beautiful thing. You know, she's awesome. She's an optometrist. She's a hustler. She grinds. She has a side job where she does costume jewelry on the side. But she's always working. She's like, it's funny. It's crazy. But like, I kind of married my dad. She's the same size as him. Yeah, like they don't stop. Always thinking.
So they must get along like crazy.
They're the best of friends.
Really?
Like, I'll be sitting down on the couch at 10:30 at night, like falling asleep. She'll get up off the couch. Oh, Alex, let's rearrange the closet. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm like already 3 sheets in. And she's like, no, I got to do this. I'm like, okay, you could do whatever you want. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. And she'll be up till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, rearranging shit, like putting shit away. Like, she's constantly working. Yeah. Nonstop. And she is my dad. I tell her all the time.
What's her background?
It's also Syrian Lebanese.
Really?
Yeah.
Exactly the same background as you?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Same neighborhood, but like we never really hung out, talked, just crossed paths. And
that's wild.
One day I was just like, this is it.
Oh, I aspire for that, my guy. One day. Not one that
Listen, I never thought I'd be married, and here I am 10 years later.
Really? Yeah. Wow. So, it's a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing that. Of course. Okay, let's get back to ANYBAG then. It's how old is this company?
3 years old. We started it when did the pandemic hit? 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
So we launched it February 2020.
Yeah.
Shut it down March, and then brought it back a year later.
Why did you shut it down? Because of the pandemic?
No one knew what the hell was going on. Yeah. I was like, I had to keep the factory busy. We transitioned to like PPE, not the PPP. We transitioned to PPE, started making masks, gowns, anything we could to just keep the factory busy.
Yeah.
We shut down for a total of maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I brought all my employees were like, no, we want to work. So we ramped up the factory, and then we never stopped.
That's funny during the pandemic when it first hit. After I was sick for the first 2-3 weeks, but a friend of mine who has a fabrication company reached out to me. He and I had a little business summer 2016. We took over a parking lot and made this like pop-up beer garden food festival thing for the whole summer. Cool. It's pretty cool. But he reached out to me because he knew my business was like experiential. I was like most of my income was all nightlife. I had started Outsiders already, but we were only doing once a month, selling out, but it was just once a month. Yeah. He reached out to me because he got commissioned by the city to make face shields.
Okay.
So he hit me up, he's like, yo, I'll pay you $30 an hour. I know you got nothing going on. It's like 10 hours a day, 4 days a week. And I did. And it was funny. It's just, bringing this manual work that was like soothing, and I got to, because all I had to do was like, I was basically like the line. I put
it's assembly line.
The great thing was I went through like 4 audio books in 2 weeks doing that. And I had something to wake up to and do something, like it gave me a purpose for whatever 3 weeks I was doing
And
it. I
that's
can't remember.
kind of like what we're doing with ANYBAG. There's a purpose behind it. It's mission driven.
Yeah.
But I mean, COVID like kind of screwed us up big time. We're still coming out of that hole.
Yeah.
You know, like all my customers, like we're only working maybe 4 of them from prior. Everybody else is new. But we retained all our employees. I never let anybody go. And
That says a lot. Yeah.
you know, like without them, I'm nothing. You know, like I can't operate the factory without them. So I was like, I got to keep them on. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. Something my father told me at a very early age. It's like at the very early start of the factory. It's like your employees are everything. You got to treat them right. You know, take care of them because they'll take care of you in the end.
Yeah, man, I'm learning that myself with the outsiders in these new cities. It's like if I don't have somebody to take on the responsibility of being out there and doing everything that we need them to do, I don't have a company.
Yeah.
So I love
it's
myself.
very hands-on.
Yeah.
It's nice working with your hands of creating stuff and
Oh, for
just
sure.
being able to put that, you know, that thing whatever that thing together is, and it's like you see it happening, and it's it's an orchestra.
How did you get the word out there? I mean, you didn't necessarily hire a PR company. You got in,
I do it all myself. It's all like, we're like the epitome of mom and pop.
but what was the break that got you like the I guess the
Like
she was the first person I saw repost you.
yeah,
How did these people find you?
Instagram.
I don't know, but like
Honestly.
friends of friends. I know we have
Friends
a lot
of
mutual
friends, that's all it was. It was just getting
Yeah.
the word out, promoting, like, hey, you know, who do you know? Networking and talking to people and just breaking out of the shell that I was stuck in the factory. Just, you know, I tell everybody I can make the latest and greatest, but it's 9 out of 10 times it just sits on my shelf in the office until somebody walks in and sees like, oh shit, what is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this?
Yeah.
You know, I do the song and dance and tell them about it, but you know, for me, it was like, I got to get the word out there for ANYBAG. And I just reached out to everybody that either owed me a favor. I was like, no way. Miranda Kerr, like, who's impersonating her? And I was like, I looked up the ad, I was like, oh shit, this really is her.
Yeah.
And then she DM'd me right after. She was like, I love your mission. I love your project. And she was one of the first collabs we did.
Would you collab how?
We did, she has Cora Organics, which is a beauty line. And she was launching a sustainable like makeup or cream cleanser or whatever. And we did a bag that was like all turquoise that matched her brand, her company. And but we always stayed in touch. And it's like, it was funny. And it just,
I mean, the beauty of it is when you have a genuinely great product, authentic to your morals and values.
I mean, good product
no
sells.
way.
That's it.
Well, yeah, but also a good product, but a great story and a good dude who's got a good mission. Authenticity is super important.
You know, like we say it about the factory, like we are the most authentic factory or authentic business in New York City. We've been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
There's not many of us left. And it's like we're employing local New Yorkers.
Are you the only factory in that area?
I'd say we are the largest and oldest operating factory in New York City right now. Everybody else I'd say is boutique. So it's like maybe 3 employees, 4 employees.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think anybody has 40 employees, 36 employees like we do.
Nice.
But we operate out of like 9,000 square feet between the 5th and the 4th floor. But you know, we make everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing we can't make other than, you know, footwear and apparel.
What's
Completely
priority
different
for
animal.
you?
Priority for me, it's starting to shift to ANYBAG, but for me, it's, you know, to create jobs and keep the factory busy and feed all the mouths that work there and the families. And that's kind of why we did the PPE. I was like, all my employees have families. They have bills. They have mouths to feed. They have kids. They have families. I couldn't just see them, you know, like, what are you guys going to do? How are you going to collect money?
No, I hear you.
And, you know, I could have walked away. I would have been like, all right, you know, it's fine. We're going to take a year off or break and figure it out. But I saw them. I was like, no, you guys got to stay busy.
It's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders.
And that's what it came down to for me. I was like, I took a pay cut that year. I didn't make any money. It was just more for the employees. And now we're starting to dig out of that hole. Yeah. But, you know, it's...
Yeah, but loyalty gets you a long way.
You know, and that's what I always say. Like, I pride myself in the story, our authenticity, who we are, what we're creating. You know, like you know, when you walk in, it's my family. You know, that's...
I saw that. I mean, the first person I met was your sister.
Yeah, like my sisters work with me. My brother's the only one that got out of it. He's a chef in Brooklyn, and but like, you know, like, I spend more time in the factory than I spend at home. So it's like, you got to create that, you know, that chemistry, that harmony, and like 3 or 4 years ago in August, which was pretty cool. That's why, like, we're in JFK with our snowboards. Everybody's go to a beach.
Exactly.
And we have all our snow gear.
Patagonia's on my list for sure.
It was one of the most beautiful experiences ever.
Yeah, I just got an itinerary for Patagonia, actually, the
awesome.
Argentinian side. and I'm gonna do it for my grandmother because I was talking to her today, and she's asking me how everything's going. Like, I want to do that because she's been told she fell in love with Patagonia from the Jules Verne book, and I wanted to take her, but now she's like, I can't go.
It's gorgeous. Man.
So I want to go because she follows all my Instagram, likes everything,
That's
says me
awesome.
tons of stuff, and I
Biggest fan.
want to go for her. Yeah, of course. And I ski. I don't snowboard, but I skied in Hokkaido, Japan.
That was very cool.
That was like
That was on the list during, I think, when COVID hit.
we went in February 2020.
Yeah.
Right before.
Yeah, I got stuck in Banff during when COVID hit.
Where?
In Banff, in British Columbia, Vancouver.
Really?
We were skiing in St. Louis. We went hell skiing one day. We were supposed to go the second day, and that's when they started closing down JFK in the airport. So my wife called me and she was like, "Get your ass home now before I come up there and drag you home."
Yeah.
Because I'm not being stuck here. I'm not getting stuck here with 3 kids while you're skiing out there.
Not for your health and wellness. No.
Yeah.
She's not getting
like,
stuck.
She's like, don't get me stuck here
Exactly.
with these kids.
All right. Let's see what else. What are your goals and dreams? That's a very
my goals
generic,
and dreams, man.
But what stands out? I know, knowing the way your mind works.
I mean,
from what I know already.
For me, it's just to raise my kids right, properly, and make sure that they're good people when they get older.
Do you have any more?
No, I'm done. I'd love to have more, but I can't.
Really?
3,
You want to have more?
Yeah, I started off at 6. Like when we started talking, I was like, I want 6 kids, and my wife thought I was nuts. And then we had 2, and I was like, you know what, 3 could be enough.
Yeah.
I come from a family of 5, so I'm used to just the pots and pans when you walk into like a circus.
Yeah.
I'm used to that. So I like a big family, and then we had 3, and I was like, I'm content.
Yeah, that's good.
This is good.
I see Bam's moving. I haven't seen you move this much behind the camera in.
Oh no,
What's
dude!
going on?
The headphones. I think I pulled the jack, so I heard a lot of hissing and shit.
Gotcha. I'm like, what's going on over here? It's like, did it break? And he's just not telling us that it stopped recording.
No.
We're just talking.
No, if it stopped recording, I let you know. It's my headphones. I kept hearing a weird hiss, and it's because I pulled the mic.
Gotcha. Okay. One of the questions is what motivates you to keep on pursuing your dreams, but your kids and I'm sure your passion for everything.
And anybody, making sure ANYBAG, becomes what I expect it to become.
I got a question for you. So when you saw Jordan posting about us, what was your favorite part of The Outsiders? What drew you to it?
The trips you were on, I was like, this is everywhere, every place I want to go that like I can't organize, or I need someone to tell me where to go, and like this is where you should go hike, and like
so the convenience factor.
Convenience. I was like, oh, this is like a concierge. I could just show up, and this is the hike, the trail we're gonna do, and like just follow the leader.
Basically, yeah.
Because I'm terrible at planning, so it's like.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm horrible.
Because you plan so much for work, you just don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like when I go on vacation, the last thing I want to do is plan.
It's funny when I go on vacation for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not one with an itinerary.
Yeah, I
know I'm going to meet interesting people. I always happen to stumble or draw that energy, whatever you want to say, and then. I know where kind of the spots I might want to hit up. I'll just go with the flow, especially now that I'm organizing all these trips for work. When I travel, like I went to Mexico City and we had a couple of days after the group, and I was just like, let's just walk through the streets.
Yeah, get lost.
Yeah, let's get lost.
It's fun. I mean, that's the best way
my
to
favorite
do
part.
it. And like, no one goes there. Don't go there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, this is what so and so said. It's on the top.
But like
5.
certain trips, like you're gonna do Zion National Park or whatever you do, you want an itinerary.
Yeah.
It's like
you want to make sure you get
you hit the
right
spots. There's so much to see there,
and that's all I want. Like I just love that. Like on my bucket list is running a marathon. I might be doing the half marathon this weekend. I'm not sure yet. Fingers crossed. But it's like I just want to get outside and experience everything. Like it's the great outdoors for me.
Well, one of our partners is on running, and they actually have a shoe that's biodegradable. I think I forgot what it is, but basically it's like a membership. You get these shoes, and when you wear them through,
or you return them, and then they
give you a
break
new
them
pair,
down.
but they break them down or reuse whatever they reuse, or they actually can decompose somehow.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of companies now. They break the shoes down into pellets and then reform them into new shoes.
Yeah.
But that's like the future.
So if you're gonna run a marathon, I'll put you in touch.
Yeah.
Do a collab.
It's on my bucket list. I hate running, but it's on my bucket list because I ran in high school and I hated it.
Track?
Yeah.
What was your event?
You're gonna laugh. High hurdles.
High hurdles, really? That's tough.
As short as I am, that was my event. I was actually ranked 5th in the city my junior year
really?
of high school. Yeah.
So high hurdles is that how far?
I did the 55, the 100, and the 400.
55 is indoor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I ran
no,
track.
Question: how high are hurdles? Like how
They're
are they?
30
Are they always the
Hurdles
same
are
height?
high.
33 inches.
But
I
high
think.
hurdles.
Yeah, the
I
high
don't
hurdles
know.
like
They're
33.
high, man.
But I mean, they're it's a consistent height,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They don't
Oh,
change.
no.
Okay.
It's one height.
Yeah.
Everybody started doing 3 steps in between. My legs didn't grow as long as everybody else did, so I did 5 steps.
Yeah.
So I was always 1 step behind, and that was it.
And but you
Yeah.
ran, that's crazy. I ran track. I played basketball in college, right? But I was for a basketball player, I was like the fastest in the conference. So the track coach comes in the weight room one day, like off season. He's like, "We need some more athletes." My coach comes up to me, and goes, "You guys could run the track meets. You don't have to go to practice. You up for it?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." Me and two of my teammates, we went. The team was the first meet we went to was so bad. Like basketball players, first defense long jump. Who wants to do it? I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I'm up first, so I don't watch the other guys run. So I'm running from like what would be like the 3-point line.
Yeah.
These other guys are running from like 50 yards out, and I'm jumping, and I jumped 6 feet past our longest long jumper. That's how bad the team was. I come in second in the meet, and the guy who's like big, his last jump beat me. And I'm jumping like a basketball player. You're supposed to jump.
You throw your
I'm
heads
just
out,
jumping like this.
I did that event a few times. It wasn't easy.
But my events were definitely like the 4x100, the 200. That's what I was actually
sprints,
decent at. Yeah. Until we went to CW Post for a D1 meet.
Nice.
I get on the line at 100. The first 40, I'm there. I got a quick first step.
Drop the baton?
No, it was just 100.
Oh, just okay.
Just 100. First 40, I'm there. All of a sudden, these D1 athletes afterburners come on, and they just and like, do I bother finishing? Because like I'm like,
check please.
like,
I'll have a cappuccino, please.
exactly. I'm like, just kidding. I wasn't supposed to be here.
And then in college, I played rugby on the team, on like the club
Really?
team. Yeah,
Oof, that's a tough
I had a fun
sport.
time. That was fun.
Wait, so how was the scrum? Could you just say how was the scrum for me to do your size?
I was the wing guy. The one time I played scrum, I broke my my forearm.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
And I didn't know it was broken until like an hour after the game, because like I went to pick something. I was like, oh shit, that hurts.
Yeah.
Went to get an X-ray, and the guy was like, "This is a clean break." I was like, "Really?" He was like, "You don't feel this?" I was like, "No, I don't feel it." He goes, "Can you rotate it?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of, a little hurts."
Yeah.
It's a little stiff.
And he shows me the picture. He was like, "Yeah, it's broken all the way through, man." And I was in a cast for like almost 6 months.
That's because bone breaks.
8 weeks. Sorry.
I've broken many bones, and
That
bone
was
breaks are
and then I
painful
broke a
as
collarbone
hell.
snowboarding once on
Okay, yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
My wife was on her bachelorette, and I was in Strat and hit a soft patch. Did a tumble, 2 flips. Second flip, I went.
That hurt?
I felt
That one hurt.
that.
Yeah.
I heard that. Tried to get up. I was like, "Yep, something's wrong." I
Yeah.
couldn't stand up. And then my buddy's dad he worked on the ski patrol. He came down. He was like, "Alex, is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, Mr. Condren, how's it going?" He goes, "What the fuck happened?" Like, I don't know. I hit a soft spot.
Yeah. Can you give me a lift?
I was like, "Can you take me down?" He goes, "Yeah, hop on."
What is a dream that you've yet to achieve?
A dream that's yet to achieve. I don't know, man. Like it's funny. I was just telling my brothers and sisters the other day. It's like there's nothing in life that I haven't wanted that I wasn't able to get.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got your wife.
Yeah, like
your
it's
sister,
if you
got
want
kids,
something,
yeah.
I always say like if you really want something, you'll do whatever it takes to attain that.
I agree.
And like that's
Where there's a will, there's a way.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
it's persistence, it's determination. I don't know, like some wild shit, maybe like going to space. Like I don't know, I think that's pretty
That's what
cool.
you want to do? Or go
I'd
to
love
space?
I'd love to be an astronaut.
It's crazy guy.
Like, I want to do something wild. Like that's what I want to do. You know, like scuba dive. Like I just love exploring.
Say, wants to go to space.
Yeah, like that's on my bucket list. Said that.
All right. Maybe you could put "I went to space" on a bag
Yeah, like
afterwards.
imagine like how cool would that
yeah.
be?
Yeah. You could do a partnership with like Virgin Atlantic
Yeah.
or Virgin Galactic.
Mr. Bronson, what's going on? You want to get a call? I'm
One
going
of
to
the
save the world of plastic, but in the meantime, you want to take me to space? I'm down.
It's one of the most interesting responses we got to that question. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Embarrassing. Let's see. Embarrassing. I don't know. That's a good one.
I don't feel like bringing up the best, but maybe we do it every time we do it.
I mean, going to a hair salon to buy gel every week to talk to a girl.
Well, that's like self-inflicted embarrassment.
That was like I was laying I was laying something. I was like, this is gonna work if I keep buying gel.
Yeah.
Embarrassing? I have no idea. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me think.
All right.
It's gonna come to me.
It's
I've done a lot of embarrassing things in my life. Trust me.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share about yourself? Anything you want to plug also?
No, I mean, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
We've touched on a lot of subjects. But I mean, for me, I'd say it's a lot of my upbringing. I'd say is all about family. It's a big part of my life.
I could tell right when I walked into your factory.
You know, like it's being around your loved ones. Like your family comes first. You know, you could have the best friends in the world, but
yeah,
you know, your family, leaves you.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's an important part. It's something like you always got to be cognizant about.
Yeah.
And just remember.
Your parents still together?
Yeah.
They've
been together. Well, I'm 41. They got married. They'll probably be together 44 years.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest of 5. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm the oldest as well. My brother and I have a twin brother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we're the oldest.
I think that's wild.
We don't look like twins. We're fraternal twins. So
I'm still fascinated.
They're like night and day.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that. I think that's the most bizarre thing.
I think
it's
identical
so cool.
twins are bizarre.
It's so cool.
Regular twins are like siblings born at the same time. Actually, physiologically, that's what we are.
Yeah.
But identical twins. My brother and I were watching this documentary on like identical twins and. They had like extremely parallel lives, and they lived together. Like we were looking at each other, like, "What the hell's wrong with these people?"
It's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like we always like when we were like trying to get pregnant and everything. I was like, Ron. It's like, imagine if we have twins. And she's like, no. I was like, no, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, imagine having 2 kids, bang, like it's done. We got 2 kids out, like good. Like then we have another kid, we're happy.
Yeah.
But she was like, no. You trying to kill me?
That is a lot of strain in the body. All right, so if you got an embarrassing moment yet?
I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. Like,
all right, give him one of the best.
Right. The best was Ken. Right?
Ken
Javier was good, but I feel like I used to think Javier's was better, but now I think Ken
Tanaka is probably the best story.
All right, Ken Tanaka. I got to introduce you to this guy. He's good dude, entertaining dude. He's one of us. He
oh yeah, give a shout out to Wish for Fish.
Wish for Fish. So basically, I know him from nightlife, but he was in nightlife right before I was. There was a little overlap. And then he left nightlife and did like some film stuff, and then worked for some. He moved. He's originally of Japanese descent, but he's born and raised. I think he's born in the States, but he's definitely raised in the States. Anyway, he is passionate about fly fishing, and he ended up becoming a full-time professional fly fisherman thanks to things like YouTube. And so he's not a YouTuber. He gets pissed off when we say that, but he's a YouTuber.
But he's like he'd be like a lower Manhattan like fly fisherman because he wears like Supreme and like newest Nikes. Like,
I mean,
so he's like undercover fly fisher.
Yeah. But it's funny. He's like he's a good dude. He's an interesting character. So, but his embarrassing story is he's very active. He likes climbing and all that. But he ran the New York City Marathon while he had food poisoning. So at every mile marker, he had to take a shit. So 26. He's finished. It took him 8 hours and 26 or 27 shits later.
26 shits. It's funny. It's funny. Like you're talking about, number 2, but like that. Like that's usually always like the most embarrassing moment.
Oh, for sure. Like I think we've had 3 people talk about.
Like a few weeks ago, I was on the express bus on my way home, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I got the sweats. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, and I just got on the bus. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Oh my God, am I going to get out on 23rd Street before we get on the highway? Because I'm not going to survive. We're hitting the bumps. I'm like, oh shit. Standing in the seat, X in the air. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I see my sister-in-law. She gets on. She's sitting down next to me. She's like, Alex, what's wrong? I was like, I can't talk right now. So she was like, I'm concentrating. I remember passing out for like 5 minutes, and then as soon as we got to our stop in Bay Ridge, or we get off in Bay Ridge, 69th Street, I'm like, do I get out and just run? Like I don't know, what do I do?
You can't exert yourself.
I was like, do I run right now? Do I get out? Do I sit here? Finally get to my stop, and Mariana's like, all right, Alex. I'm like, all right, later. And I just book. And I get to the house, and I run into the house, and kids look at me like, whoa, whoa. I run to the bathroom, and she comes out later. She's like, Alex, is everything all right? She was like, I was like, Mars, I thought I was going to shit my pants on the bus the whole ride home. And you're sitting there talking to me, and I'm sweating. And it was like the dead of winter, so it's freezing, and I'm just drenched. And she was like, you didn't look too good. I was like, yeah, I thought I was going to have an accident on the express bus.
As an adult.
And like in my head, I'm like, am I going to be that guy that gets off the bus and everyone's going to look at me like, yeah, he's going to shit his pants.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you avoided that.
Yeah,
So
it happened once in graduation as well. In college, it was 92 degrees out. We went on a bender the night before. Waited for McDonald's to open up that morning. Had the what was it when they made the pancake sandwich?
Oh, the McGriddle or something?
McGriddles.
Yeah.
Like this was when McGriddles came out.
Yeah.
And I remember we had those, and my mom and dad pick us up for graduation, pick up my friend Mike. We're in the car. My mom goes, you guys smell like shit. I was like, yeah, it was a long night last night. And we're all having a good time. Meanwhile, I streaked our graduation family night dance. Oh my God. Right after my parents left, my boy John Mann was standing next to me. I was like, yo, John, hold my suit. He goes, why? I go, just hold my suit. It just streaked right through the family night dance, and everyone, it was hysterical.
So that's not when you had a shit, right?
Yeah, and then the next day I had to shit my pants, and
Gotcha.
I sat through 3 hours of graduation in the beating sun, passed out for about an hour. That's how bad it was, and woke up and like, oh, shit, what's going on? And then we were finally going into the auditorium, and I was like, all right, detour.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay,
Yeah.
You got a nice embarrassing story there.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. All right, so the last few questions are 5 rapid fire questions, but I added a 6 for you. So just whatever comes to mind when I first ask. You know how it works. Favorite city other than New York City?
I'd say Florence, Italy.
Really? Why Florence?
Studied abroad there in 2003.
A lot of people study abroad in Florence.
And I just know the city, like like I could walk around. Like I have friends there, family.
Really? Okay.
I feel at home.
Nice. That's actually what I feel like makes the city the best is the people you know there.
Yeah.
If you could do any other profession, what would you do?
Fireman.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever try to take that test?
No, I think it's such a cool, badass job.
Shout out to Ifan. He's on our team, Mr. February. He made the Mr. February
Did he?
fireman calendar, but he's actually like a huge help for outsiders.
One of my friends, Jose Cordero, was I don't know which month he was, but I remember we got the calendar. And my dad knows him too, so my dad took his shirt off and started flexing. And we were sending it to him like it was.
You can't let him live it down for sure. You got to give him as hell as you can. Like this has been 3 years now, I think, since he finally made it.
You can't really give a guy hell when he fucking has like an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Like
No, we're not giving him hell. You just got to bring awareness about it.
Yeah.
By the way, so when I introduced him, like he's a FDNY. By the way, he's also Mr. February calendar. So he smiles until I say that, and he looks at me like,
Here, that's all.
Yo, you need a giant print so you can just pull it out in the bus and just open it up.
One of those big heads.
I'll print it. Give me the I'll print
perfect,
it.
perfect. That'd be hilarious. Actually, we should print it on a bag.
We could print it.
All right. What's your vice?
I'm biting my nails.
Really?
Yeah, it's something I could never been able to shake off.
You don't seem to have like those.
No, I take care of them. I'll file them down, but like, I get bored very easily, so it just keeps me busy.
That's what
oral
entertains you.
fixation, if you want to call it. I don't know.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. What's your greatest fear?
Greatest fear, I don't know, like not being able to provide for my family.
I had a feeling you would say that.
Yeah, like that's like once I had kids, once I started a family, like my whole everything, like my whole perspective of life changed.
Yeah. All right. So if you weren't saving the world with plastics, what charitable cause would you be doing? If it wasn't plastic and you want to save, what would you choose? Another one. That speaks to you.
I mean, just environmental, just cleaning, like keeping the outdoors clean. Like, what you guys are doing with the trails and the cleanups and all that.
Yeah.
For me, like my solace is when I'm snowboarding and I'm like deep in the mountains in the back country, like solo, and you just sit down and you look up and you're like, you don't hear anything but wind and snow and like the trees shaking. Like to me, it's the most amazing, most beautiful thing in the world. And like people that don't snowboard or ski don't get it. Like, and I'll tell my wife, like, she's like, why do you have to? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I've been doing this for 23 years now, snowboarding. Like, when I'm on the mountain, it's just me in the mountain. There's nothing else.
Especially when there's an empty trail.
Yeah,
it's
and like
magic.
I don't think about anything else. Like, I'm completely clear-minded, free, focused, and it's just there's only one way down. That's it.
Syringe just literally like just off topic. Well, on the topic, but off the thing. But Syringe just went to Norway to do the Northern Lights.
Oh, sick. Wow.
And he said it's the and like they were in. It was like 14 below, 40-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah. Everybody's sitting there behind the cameras pushing that shit. But he goes, it was crazy because the only thing you hear is you crunching the snow. That's all you don't hear nothing.
What's interesting is I think your mind is always on working. So that's why being engaged in manual task or skiing or something turns it off, which is why you're drawn to it. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, that's why I like basketball.
Like I could very easily shut off, and like it's something my wife is amazed by. Like we'll be sitting there, she's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
She's like, "What do you mean?"
You just reminded me of.
I'm like, I just shut. Like I'm done. Like,
no, it's either on or off. That's
like I've done everything I had to do today. Like I'm like I can't.
It's funny. We're flying out of Mexico City for an outsider's trip, and I was on the same flight as my friend Javier in Georgia, and they're on the flight. Like they got the Wi-Fi. They're reading. They're watching movies, and they look over at me. I'm just like, their eyes are staring at the back of the seat. It's like they look at me like, "You're psycho. What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I'm getting a break right now. Yeah. Like they can't reach. No one can reach me. I'm just enjoying like no stimulus.
Yep.
I'm just like they're like, "There's something wrong with you." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like it's. I always got to be doing something. Like I'm always reading something or I'm listening to music, but it's like just that shutdown or not thinking about like the world is on fire.
You're right.
But it's like no, I'm good right now.
Well, for me, that time on an airplane for me is when airplanes have been when I've actually come up with great ideas. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll watch a movie on occasion. I'll read something. I'll listen to music. But sometimes I just like to sit back and let my mind work. Yeah. And just like...
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Take me on my journey.
Yeah.
The voices. No, I'm kidding.
It's like out of everyone in my family, I'm the most laid back, easygoing. And they always like, Alex, like, where'd you come from? Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, nothing seems to bother you. And I'm like, life's short. It could always be worse. I tell everybody, I'm like, the house is on fire, but at least nobody died. Yeah. Like everything, we'll figure everything out. Yeah. Like it's not the end of the world. But
I'm trying to adopt that. I mean, with certain things, I do have that mentality, and others, I'm like, I got to figure it out.
Like you'll never see me.
But when I'm like this, it's more or less like I need to find a solution. Yeah. That's when my brain is like.
Like you'll never see me have like an outburst or freak out. Like I'm just like it's cool. Everything will be fine. Yeah. Like my dad, complete opposite. Like, oh, shut it down, do this, fix this now. Everybody go home. I'm like, all right, we got to think about this. Let's figure out a solution.
Yeah, that's the old school mentality.
Shut it down. Right now, they got to like. Sometimes that's the worst thing to do. Yep. Yeah. But I'm like, all right, let's put it on the side. We'll figure it out. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Step back.
Yeah.
They say when you don't know what to do, the best thing to do is do nothing.
Yeah. Walk away. Exactly. And then come back to it. Take a walk.
Yeah. So you took a break from trying to figure out what was your most embarrassing moment, and you came up with a great shit story. So usually come back to it. Last question is, what's your favorite food? And I know you mentioned you got this from your brother's restaurant. So let's shout them out and see what you brought.
I hit up my brother today. I was like,
by the way, that's another one of your bags, right?
Yeah, this is my personal bag. This is what I've been rocking for almost 5 months now. Okay. Since we released it. And then we have my other little bag in here that we made. This is like a collab with myself, made by Alex and ANYBAG, so it has leather.
So you collabed with yourself. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're saying. I know what you mean, but like,
there is the food.
I know what you mean. I just had to give you shit for collabing with yourself, but yeah, involving leather with the plastics. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like it's not something that would live under the ANYBAG world. It would live under the Made by Alex world.
Gotcha. In collab with So what'd you bring today?
So my favorite thing in the world is steak and veggies.
What's your brother's restaurant? What do they specialize in?
So my brother's restaurant is called Boutros. It's in Brooklyn Heights on it's 185 Atlantic Street, and it's Middle Eastern food with like French American flair, some Asian flair.
That's like my background.
But it's
I'm
like
Middle Eastern, French American,
it's
and
like everything that my
Iran is
mom,
Asian?
yeah, everything my mom made for us growing up.
Oh, that's great.
He kind of took and like gave it his own little twist to it.
Yeah.
And this happens to be like an Asian fusion, but it's like beef and broccoli, but he does beef and bok choy.
Really?
Yeah, and he took it off the menu, and it was like a fan favorite, and he finally just put it back on today.
Today?
And I was like, oh shit, this is perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Really nice.
But and then beets. But I
beets, really?
I love veggies.
I love veggies too. Why did you choose beets?
Because it's in season now.
Ah. Okay.
But usually it's like endive. I like greens.
Yeah.
Or like grilled beets are one of my favorite.
It's funny.
things.
I was watching a video somebody sent me, and it was this Arab guy who was like picking up like leafy greens and just like stuffing his face, and people are laughing. I'm like,
awesome.
I don't know what's so funny about this. I actually do the same thing.
You don't grab a fork?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right, let's try this. So, the beets.
The beets.
Which one first? The beets first.
Yeah, try it out.
All right. What's on the beets?
There's no cheese or cream or anything like that.
Rolling beets. I used to hate beets. I still don't like them too much, but
Oh, I love them. I used to hate.
But I've enjoyed, like, I love borscht soup. I love that.
What's
It's like
that?
this Polish Ukrainian soup borscht. It's made out of beets. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's red beets, and it's usually like a stewed meat. It's like a hearty stew.
It's good.
to chew with the microphone.
No.
Oh, you gotta do it. People like that ASMR stuff.
I don't know about this one. All right, right.
I mean, there's people like certain things.
Yeah, but my favorite thing to do on a hot Friday night is come home from work and throw something on the grill and just sit back.
That's very, like, that's very, I mean, it's Middle Eastern, but it's also, like, great family time.
Yeah, like my mom, every Sunday in the summertime, it's barbecue. Like shish kebabs and, like, shish tabout chicken. The chicken.
Let me know. We can crash that party.
Tabbouleh, hummus. And now my brother incorporates that all into the restaurant.
Is that like maybe like a northeastern thing where people like to barbecue?
A what?
Like a northeastern type thing, like Jersey, New York, Connecticut.
No,
like people like.
I think
everywhere I go, it's
Egypt,
like,
Korean.
that's all I want to do
you
is
see,
barbecue.
yeah. I think it's more of like.
I mean, in Argentina, it's all they did when we were down there. Like
Brazil too.
barbecue.
I think it's more of like a easier way. I think that's how people used to cook in general.
Less cleanup. Like that's why I love it. Like I don't got to clean shit up in the kitchen.
Yeah. And you don't have to get the house steaming hot.
Everything's done outside. You just eat and the plates. That's it. You wash the plates.
That's really good. Where is it again? Shout it out.
185 Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn Heights, Boutros. But
Right.
it's named after my dad, Pierre, which was he was known as Boutros growing up, and then when he came here, they changed it to Pierre.
Pierre, really? He's
So
got
it's like Boutros, Pedros, Pierre, like the whole.
Gotcha. I mean, there was a big French influence in Lebanon,
Right.
so I
Like
understand.
my parents, they speak Arabic, French. I don't speak any lick of French.
Perfect. So when I get invited over for these barbecues, I will come with my
we'll
proper
have a nice
French. And
But like, yeah, my brother and I will sit on the weekends and just barbecue. Like his favorite thing is he'll get like a steak that's maybe 3-4 inches, like call it like dinosaur cut.
yeah,
And it takes like 3 hours to cook because he does it on direct heat, off the heat, direct heat.
bring the
off
mic
heat.
closer. Yeah.
But yeah, he'll sit down and just sit there with his hookah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, really? His
watch
hookah?
watch his steak cook.
Wow.
And I laugh and I'm like, you are the epitome of like the Arab.
Exactly.
like all you need is a mustache now. Like,
Right.
but it's
Man.
hysterical, man.
Well, I appreciate you coming down here and letting us
No, of
interview
course,
you
man.
again.
Thanks for having me.
And
This is a
I
blast.
love this. We'll do more stuff. If you get more ideas on how we can collab,
Yeah.
let me know. Otherwise,
Clean up the trails, man.
let's do it. I had one more story about the cleaning the trails. So the first time during the pandemic, a lot of trails got overloaded by people, not doing anything else but going to the trails. So Gertrude's Nose was one of the trails we just did, and we could do that again. And we reached out to Minnewaska State Park, and they were concerned about us littering and all that. And they're like, promise you we'll do better. And we go on the hike, and they're like, you guys, okay. Go on the hike, we come back, and we actually got like 2 garbage bags full. That wasn't part of the hike. We saw so much trash that we cleaned it up. We brought it back, And we hand it to the ranger. He's like, "You guys, outsiders?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, you're welcome."
We just.
But I found out later on that they'd been so inundated with random people who didn't respect nature. Yeah. That's why they were.
That's the biggest problem. You know, people just there's no respect. You know, like people don't realize. Yeah, we all live on the same planet.
Yeah.
You know, like, take care of it. Yeah. You know, like when I'm swimming in the beach, you know, not my kids are doing it, but like they'll see plastic floating in the water, they'll take it, they'll put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
And it's like the little things like that. Like it doesn't need to be something grand and crazy. Yeah. It's just pick up the shit in front of you.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we figure out more about outdoor activities, how we can directly help with this initiative, and whether it be grabbing plastic bags and bringing them back. Hey, we're gonna do this for ANYBAG. Or we'll come up with an idea, but let's do some more.
No, I'm down, man. This is awesome.
Perfect. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.